Are you dreaming of your next holiday adventure but not sure where to go? After traveling full-time for 6 years, in this video, we've rounded up the top 10 countries to visit right now. This is freaking magical! Whether you're into nature and wildlife or vibrant cities and food, this list will inspire your next trip. So let's dive in. Number 10. Italy. Italy has it all. Rich Roman history, postcard-perfect landscapes, and food you'll never forget. One of our favorite spots in Italy and all of Europe is the Amalfi Coast, where dramatic cliffs plunge into the turquoise sea. Renting a scooter and cruising along the cliffside towns was an unforgettable experience. Italy truly offers something for everyone. Picture yourself waking up in Rome, the scent of freshly baked bread drifting through narrow streets as the sunlight spills over centuries-old buildings. Whether you're standing before the Colosseum, imagining life as a gladiator, or admiring the inside of the Vatican, Italy's history is alive at every turn. Now, because Italy is so popular, there are some spots like Venice, which although they are stunning, just look at these canals, they do get busy. But if you want some solitude, there are always plenty of places like here in the Dolomites where you'll find jagged peaks and alpine meadows that you can have all to yourself. Up next, number 9, China. It's not only one of the most culturally fascinating countries, but its natural beauty is equally mind-blowing. Zhangjiajie National Park, with 243 peaks and 3,000 towering karst pinnacles, is one of the most stunning spots. After 6 years of full-time travel, it's the only landscape that's ever moved me to tears. The Great Wall of China is one of the most awe-inspiring sights you'll ever visit. Stretching 13,000 miles, 21,000 kilometers across China, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. To put the size into perspective, you can stretch the Great Wall out from Los Angeles to London and back again. Beijing itself is also worth a few days to explore traditional Chinese neighborhoods and visit the Forbidden City, a vast complex of 980 buildings that housed 24 Chinese emperors over 500 years. Don't miss trying the world-famous Peking duck, a dish invented for China's emperors. From delicate dumplings to fiery hot pots, as you explore China, you'll find its authentic cuisine far surpasses what's served in your typical Chinatown. We move on to number 8 of our list of top destinations for 2025, Vietnam. If you're looking for stunning nature, vibrant cities, and incredibly affordable travel, Vietnam is unbeatable. Kick off your adventure in bustling Hanoi in the north, where you can grab a steaming hot bowl of pho, Vietnam's famous beef noodle soup, for just $2, or a cup of their famous egg coffee for less than $1. The Vietnamese cuisine alone is worth the trip, but now comes the real magic. This, Ha Long Bay, is the crown jewel of Vietnam, with emerald waters and over 1,900 towering limestone islands forming one of the most unique landscapes on our planet. The best way to experience it? A 3-day cruise starting at just $160 per person. Next, you can explore the terraced rice fields of Sapa, hike to breathtaking viewpoints in Ninh Binh, or step back in time in Hue, where you can explore the ancient palaces of Vietnam's emperors. Or if you're a real daredevil, just try crossing the street in the capital, Ho Chi Minh City. Next up, Egypt. You'll probably fly into Cairo, the vibrant capital. Make your first stop here the Khan el-Khalili Bazaar, a 14th century market that seems frozen in time, full of narrow alleys, colorful shops, and the smell of spices in the air. It's the perfect spot to just grab a mint tea and watch the world go by. Of course, no trip to Egypt is complete without seeing the pyramids of Giza, located just outside of Cairo. Built over 4,500 years ago, the pyramids served as tombs for the ancient pharaohs of Egypt. The tallest of the 3 pyramids stands 481 feet and is made from 2.3 million stone blocks. You can also venture inside the pyramids, descending through dark, narrow hallways to reach the tombs of the pharaohs. Further south in Luxor, valleys filled with temples and royal tombs carved into the mountains await. The best way to experience all this is a river cruise along the Nile, complete with sightseeing stops and unforgettable sunsets over the water. Now we move on to Costa Rica. Nature lovers, listen up. If you're looking for lush rainforests, tropical beaches, and abundant wildlife, there's no better place on earth than Costa Rica. If we had to name one place you can't miss in this country, it's Manuel Antonio National Park. In just a few hours here, we spotted macaws, iguanas, agoutis, dozens of monkeys, and a bunch of sloths, including a cute baby sloth. This place is a wildlife lover's dream. Costa Rica's landscape is filled with jaw-dropping natural wonders. Waterfalls are a signature of the country, and the Nauyaca Falls, just an hour south of Manuel Antonio, is one of the most spectacular. Standing 200 feet tall and hidden deep in the rainforest, this waterfall feels raw and untouched. It's just pure magic. One of the most surprising spots in Costa Rica is the Tárcoles Bridge, better known as Crocodile Bridge. Peering over the edge, you'll spot a group of American crocodiles, some up to 20 feet long, in the Tárcoles River below. With over 2,000 crocs living here, this is the largest population of crocodiles in the world and a very bad spot to go for a swim. Since Costa Rica is a relatively small country, a trip here easily combines some of the coolest scenery in Central America. One day you're exploring misty cloud forests in Monteverde, walking along suspension bridges or zipping over the forest canopy. The next you're lounging on a tropical beach or hiking around the Arenal volcano in La Fortuna. Next up, Peru. Peru is one of the most popular countries in South America, mostly thanks to the iconic Inca ruins of Machu Picchu. This place lives up to the hype. Few ruins in the world are both so well preserved and set in such a dramatic location. Perched high in the Andes Mountains at 7,970 feet, that's over 2,400 meters of elevation, getting to the ancient Inca citadel is an adventure in its own right. You can either hike for a couple days or take a bus or scenic train from Cusco, the largest city in Peru's Sacred Valley. Cusco's narrow cobblestone streets, colorful markets, and high altitude make it an unforgettable stop. Venture beyond Machu Picchu and Peru will show you things you won't find anywhere else. Take Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake in the world. The Uros people who live here live on floating islands that are completely made out of reeds, from the ground you walk on to the homes and even boats that the locals use. A visit here feels like stepping into another world. The same goes for Huacachina, a desert oasis where you can go dune buggying and sandboarding down massive sand dunes. But for us, the real star of Peru was the food. You've probably heard of ceviche, which is raw fish marinated in lime juice with delicious spices, but that's just the beginning. Don't miss causa, a layered potato dish with lime, yellow chili, avocado, and fillings like chicken, tuna, or our personal favorite, lobster. Trust me, it is finger-licking good. Now we move on to Colombia. When you think of Colombia, narcos and Pablo Escobar might come to mind. But after decades of overcoming crime and violence, Colombia has transformed into a top travel destination, drawing more visitors each year with its warm sunshine and affordable travel options. First up is Cartagena, a postcard-perfect city on the Caribbean coast. Surrounded by 16th century walls that once protected it from pirates, the old town is a vibrant maze of colorful buildings, plazas, and cobblestone streets. Walking through feels like stepping back in time, and the sunsets over the ocean are just unforgettable. For nature lovers, Tayrona National Park will blow you away. Jungle-covered mountains meet the Caribbean Sea, creating paradise-like beaches with golden sand and crystal-clear water. And best of all, as you hike through the park, you might spot monkeys, exotic birds, and even giant iguanas along the way. Then we have Medellín, a modern artistic city nestled in a sprawling valley. You can even go paragliding over the city for breathtaking views of both the urban and mountain surroundings. It's the perfect mix of adrenaline and peace. Or spend a few days in Jardín, a picturesque mountain town with stunning waterfalls, charming colonial villas, and fantastic food. Then, of course, we also have to talk about Turkey. Everyone has heard of Istanbul, but famous landmarks like the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and especially the Grand Bazaar of Istanbul are even more awe-inspiring in person. The city feels like several worlds rolled into one, blending its rich history with vibrant modern life. There's trendy cafes, rooftop bars, and bustling streets. And cutting through the middle of Istanbul, we have the Bosporus Strait, where you can hop on a boat and cross between Europe and Asia without leaving the city. That's a unique experience you can only have in Istanbul. Then there's Cappadocia, which feels like you're stepping into a fairy tale. The surreal landscape of fairy chimneys and ancient cave dwellings is best seen from the sky. A sunrise hot air balloon ride here is nothing short of magical. You'll float above this otherworldly scene as the sun starts peeking above the horizon. That's truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And if you're into beaches, Turkey's Mediterranean and Aegean coasts are breathtaking. The turquoise waters of Antalya and places like Ölü Deniz are perfect for swimming, relaxing, or even paragliding over the crystal clear sea. The vibe is laid back and the beaches feel like a little slice of paradise, often without the crowds. And if you're a history buff or you just like cool old buildings, you will be amazed by the ruins of Ephesus, one of the most impressive archaeological sites in the world. As for the next country on our list, I'll give you some hints. It's home to maple syrup, bears, and some of the most spectacular mountains on Earth. That's right, Canada. Winston Churchill once said, "Canada is a place of infinite promise." And if you're looking for a vacation that you'll never forget, I promise you, Canada will deliver. First off, Banff National Park is a dream for outdoor lovers. With towering mountains, glacial lakes, and endless hiking trails, the highlight, Lake Louise, looks like something out of a postcard with its bright turquoise waters. And driving along the Icefields Parkway is one of the most scenic drives in the world. You pass glaciers, waterfalls, and rugged peaks. But definitely keep an eye on the road here, because the pedestrians don't exactly obey traffic signs. Of course, you can't talk about Canada without mentioning Niagara Falls. The sheer power and size of the falls is mind-blowing. We highly recommend taking a boat tour to get up close, and don't worry, your captain has done this before. But Canada isn't just about nature. The most beautiful historic city in the country is Quebec City, located in the French-speaking part of Canada. The old part of Quebec, called Vieux-Québec, is the only walled city in North America, and strolling through its cobblestone streets feels like stepping into a quaint French village. And in terms of food, you definitely need to try the legendary poutine. Fries, meat, cheese, it's legendary. And then, if you're looking for a totally unique adventure, Mongolia is the place to be. It's one of the last countries with a genuine nomadic culture. Around 30% of the population still live as herders, herding their livestock and moving with the seasons. We took a 5-day horseback riding trip across the steppes with a guide, camping under the stars until we reached a nomadic tribe in the mountains. Staying with a local family in Mongolia gives you a real taste of their lifestyle. You'll sleep in a gur, which is a traditional Mongolian tent, drink fresh ayrak, which is fermented horse milk, and experience their incredible hospitality. This particular family herds reindeer, which felt like stepping into a documentary and a Christmas movie all rolled into one. But even beyond the nomadic life, Mongolia is just fascinating. Roads are virtually non-existent, so group trips from Ulaanbaatar, the capital, are the easiest way to get around. The Gobi Desert is a must-see, and just an otherworldly landscape of sand dunes, rugged cliffs, and even fossilized dinosaur bones. There's no horses out there, but riding a camel through the dunes at sunset was one of the most memorable experiences of our travels. And yes, my butt still hurts just thinking about it.